Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Jack G, and these are my hobbies. I talked about in the last video the Benchmade Cricket River, which I really love, thin in hand, just a beautiful classic knife. And this is the Griptilian, not the mini grip, but the full-size Griptilian, which, by the way, I find it quite hard to find the differentiation between the mini grip and this one, because the mini grip is so popular when trying to buy it. So be careful you buy the right one for you. The Griptilian, this is a custom Griptilian. It is the 550 BK, meaning it has a black blade with the S30V steel. And this is the Benchmade Mini Crooked River, which is the, sorry, let me turn that over so you can see that a little bit. Oh, sorry, that's really hard to see. 15085 SS with the S90V, which I upgraded. So what I wanted to talk about here was you can go to the Benchmade site and customize knives. So you can kind of pick a family. This is from the Hunt series, kind of Hunter series. And this one is from the Blue Class series, the Griptilian. And as you know, I'm kind of into customizations. I customize the hardware and backspacers, etc., the knife blades and so on. And I buy them from different places as a result. So, but you can go to the Benchmade site, and now they allow you to kind of customize, and it's pretty cool. It's a fun experience to just kind of play around and mix and match. They allow you to do things like, this is the sheep's foot style Benchmade Griptilian. They have different types of Griptilian. I love this because I call it the Spidey hole, because I give credit to a Spyderco, which I'll do some reviews on all my Spyderco knives at some point. But it's a really easy way to open without the thumb stud. You can use it with gloves on. It's just pretty smooth. Just really doesn't take a whole lot of effort. But if I give it a decent flick, if I give it a decent flick, it's pretty easy to open. I think it's easier to open than the thumb stud, frankly. But anyway, so I customized this one because I couldn't find one that had the sheep's foot, that had black, the anodizing here on the blade. And then I was able to pick either, graphics, etc. And I picked this because that's kind of my spirit animal there, is the bird of prey. And I like it because I think about it as it just flies out. So anyway, and then on the back side, there's the eagle that I put on there in the graphic, and you can kind of move it up and down and turn it around, etc. So it's a really fun process as well, and they do a really good job of this etching in here. And this is kind of the biting side of the blade. So it has S30V steel. This is the Mel Pardue design. I went with the deep pocket carry clip. As you know, I like kind of in the deep in the pocket, low profile. I also went with G10 scales, which I really like, just the standard kind of silver barrel spacers. This one has a lot of good jimping here and here. And I went with, let me turn that around a little bit. I went with the G10 kind of vertical as opposed to the horizontal. If you can kind of see that, kind of hear that, because I felt it was much more grippy and it kind of looked cool, I think. So anyway, those were the customizations that I did on the Benchmade site, and then they send it to you, and it's pretty cool. And then on this one, the Mini Crooked River, I upgraded the steel. I paid a little bit extra to go to the S90V steel. Typically comes with the S30. I could have gone with 20. I really like this steel. A lot of people kind of complain about it because it's hard to sharpen, but I have a knife sharpening system, which I will go over at some point in time. But it's the hardness of this steel and the edge that it holds is pretty incredible. So I upgraded the steel on this one. I changed this from the typical kind of silver aluminum to the black, and picked the orange versus like red and blue, and other colors that you can pick. Some places sell it with the gray G10 scales. I love G10, but I don't think it looks nearly as good as this diamond wood here. I went with the black instead of the silver because I thought it would pop too much. And then the backspacer you can pick, and it normally comes with an orange backspacer, which I don't particularly like. I mean, I know it ties into this, but as you know, in the pocket, I don't want people to see that I have this bright orange or otherwise thing that's in my pocket that attracts your attention to the fact that I'm carrying a knife, because I like a low profile style. And I really love the fact that Benchmade's doing these kind of mini deep pocket. By deep pocket, you can, what I mean by that is it kind of, obviously it comes way up here instead of like stops here, and then, you see all this out of the pocket, right? But you only see this, and with a black, you don't see it much. And I like this really kind of, I don't know, it's not really anodized, but it's kind of like a bronze looking thing. And then on the inside here on the liners, I went with black as well instead of the silver liners. Kind of torn on that, but since it comes up to here, you would see silver, so a little bit more exposure than I like to have. And this is just kind of like the classic pocket knife you had as a kid, but more of a modernized version. So anyway, so I customized that on the Benchmade site, and it's kind of fun because you get to pick your blades, and do you want some black coating and so on and so forth. The one thing that I would say that you need to be a little bit careful with when you customize on the Benchmade site is that because I picked the G10 scales on this one, the screws are a little bit different than if you were to get the non-G10, just like the sort of plastic gravure, whatever they call it, scales, handles. And that's something to consider because, as you know, I like to replace these with different things like aluminum scales and other G10 scales. And if your screws aren't aren't the same and stuff like that when you buy them from third parties, you got to be really careful about that. So whenever you're going to buy like something to customize or customize things that you've already customized, in this case on the Benchmade site, be really careful about the screws, the placement of the screws, and the handles, the scales that you're going to replace. So you want to make sure that they match and that they're not for like the mini Griptilian and so on and so forth. And in fact, you can kind of see here, if you look at this, see the screws, right? So it's a T6, goes in here, but notice that this is, there isn't a screw here, it kind of sinks in this way, and not all of them are like that in the different scales. So be really careful when you buy things that you can customize them if you want to. But this one, obviously, I was customizing, and I'm never going to change this one because I just love check that out. That's so cool. The eagle even gives a little shine against the blade. Hopefully that comes off well on the camera. And then on the other side, with the eagle as well. So you can put your own graphics as well, but I just really like these two. So anyway, think about going to the Benchmade site and customizing your own. And these are two that I customized. This was a gift from Uriah, so shout out, thank you so much. This was a gift from my wife for last Christmas as well, or for my birthday rather. So thank you for that. And then, it's kind of fun to give gift certificate, and, knives are kind of personal. Everybody likes what they like. And so it's kind of nice to kind of personalize it and customize it yourself. I'd be careful with like putting your name on it and things like that, because someday you might want to resell it. So something to consider. But anyway, just thought I'd do a quick review on customizing knives. And these are two that I've done on the Benchmade site. And then, of course, I do things through like third parties as well. Mahalo. And I promise I will do an emergency go bag set of videos next. Thank you.